Hello everyone, I'm Chris and we are Group 7. Today we're going to talk about our lesson plan, which is the What If Museum. So before I get started to talk about what's included in our lesson plan, I would like to talk about the brief routine of our presentation today. Before we're getting into the activities, activity 1, 2, 3, and the conclusion, which would be introduced by my fair group mates, I'm going to do a little bit of introduction about how our lesson is developed and what is it about and the language objective. Okay, so first, I'm going to talk about the details of our lesson plan. Our lesson is prepared for primary 5 to primary 6 students. This is because our language focus is about the conditional sentences, which is the if clause or what if, according to our topic of our lesson plan. So there are also in total 5 tasks, including activity 1, activity 2, activity 3, and then a final evaluation of a writing task and another quiz in total. So we are mainly doing the whole lesson through the Q report, which is a platform, a generative AI platform that generates a lesson plan to the teacher, which you can allow the students to join the lesson in an online courses, which is very similar to Zoom, but it is much more like a online document of PowerPoint. But with combination, there are so much features about it. There's some other features like making some quizzes or asking some questions about the PowerPoint in the Q report, which is a much more effective way of teaching the students. Okay, and then about the learning objectives. Besides the language objective of the conditional sentence, we want the students to learn the usage of it, and besides that, we also want the students to show their creativity and increase the awareness to the important human history. This is achieved through the activity 2, which will be introduced lately by my fair group mates, which is briefly about recreating past histories throughout the students' own imagination. And students can then see their own creative history by using the generative AI apps such as Padlet to give them a stronger feedback to their own creativity, which is like a echo. You can give an idea and then you can give a review on what have you drawn or what have you depicted on the recreated history. And the whole lesson plan uses multiple teaching tools, including Kahoot, Edpuzzle, Padlet, and QReport. And we have decided to take the use of these apps is because of it's based on the SAMR model. And you can see we have also classified the apps into the SAMR models. Our choices of teaching tools are based on the model because we want to maximize the effectiveness to our teaching. And you can see that Kahoot and Edpuzzle belongs to the substitution category, and then the rest of like the Padlet is augmentation, and then lastly the QReport with the modification. We didn't really find some tools about redefinition because redefinition of the whole teaching is quite it's not that suitable to our topic of the What If Museum because our topic requires more interactive between the students and the teacher. So there's really not much tools about redefinition that can help us achieve such goal. And the next part, I believe, will be introduced by my classmate, by my group mate, Elvin. Okay.
Hello everyone, I'm Alvin. Our group choose some e-resources to support our activities, and they are Padlet, Edpuzzle, Canvas. And last, we have some final tasks, and we choose good paddles. Okay, first activity 1. Activity 1, the real history. I will ask the students, have you ever been interested in world history? And what do you know? For example, Galileo's theoretical experience and the Silk Road of ancient China. I will ask in this activity, I will ask them to search for specific historical events that interest or are familiar to them, and then publish them on Padlet using 2 to 3 self-writing sentences and AI-generated images to describe the event. And then we will see what historical events they want to tell us. We will use the paddle. And they will tell us the historical event they know in this place.
Hi, I'm Ethan. I will introduce you to you about the activity 2. Let me give you a short overview first. The outcome of the activity 2 is to construct the what if virtual museum. Okay, here's the plan. By the end of this activity, students will be able to apply subjunctive mood and English to describe a hypothetical statement, answer what if questions, and manage it to use related code syntax. Here I'll take if at past tense someone do something pattern as an example to explain. Okay, here I've divided the activity into 2 parts. In part 1, students would watch a video and help us to learn about the sentence pattern. I will show you. Here's the video. This video explains to students about why we use word instead of words, instead of others, and so on. After watching that, students will have a clear understanding of the sentence structure. Also, the questions I said here also will give me a clear feedback of students' level of understanding, so I can help the students who are struggling by repeating concepts or giving more examples based on that. Okay. Coming back to the activity. After they watch the video, they will understand the sentence pattern. So After that, I think they need to practice by making their own sentences. So I choose Highlight as the platform to for them to share their ideas. And that. Here, what if virtual museum? The same as that is virtual historical figures. In this, students should imagine what would have happened in the past if historical figures have different personality or occupations. They should use a sentence structure if at past tense someone would do something. And upload a sentence here. Here I give 3 examples featuring 苏轼, Candace, and Xiang Yu. What's more, they can use their imagination to create new storylines. We treat it as parallel universe. In that universe, it can happen anything. Students are also welcome to discuss or even just raise objections under each other's posts. I will also build a museum of our students' contributions to showcase. So I think this approach will help them to be familiar with and master the sentence structure. Okay, that's all for my part. Let's welcome Tony to introduce about activity 3.
Hello, I'm Tony, and I am going to introduce the activity 3 of our lesson, Words Gallery and Special Exhibition. Let's begin with the learning objectives of this activity. First, we want students to be able to recognize and write meaningful sentences with the words and phrases provided from the vocabulary list of this activity. Second, we want students to participate in peer communication through group discussion on combining each other's stories from the previous activities. And finally, we want to strengthen the ability of the students to apply digital tools to convert the stories into visual presentation. Let's begin the details with the part 1 of our activity 3, get to know the words. This is where we take students to a tour through the gallery of Guess the Words, which is where we will provide hint sentences with AI-generated pictures for the students to guess the definition of the word and fill the blank. After that, the students will try to create their own artworks with the fresh words they have learned, which means they will use Palette AI to generate pictures with the prompt written by their own for a better understanding. Here is an example page of the guess word game. Let's take this one as an example. Here we have a picture generated by the AI from Canva. And this is a sentence with the blank of the word. So for example, this is a what of a Greek hero. From the picture, students may guess the answer is sculpture. And for the other words, it's the same idea. After that part, the students will go to our Palette page. This part is for this activity 3, which is titled Word Gallery Plus. There is already an example, which is students can write their own prompt with one sentence using the word they have learned just now. And then the AI will generate a picture of that For example, this one is the picture I have generated with the prompt of I use the telescope to observe every night with the keyword telescope. So then let's move on to part 2, special exhibition. In this part, we'll begin with forming groups of 4 to 5. And then within that group, we'll have a group discussion session for the students to connect their stories from each member to form a whole storyline. And we will encourage them to do peer communicating, to use the words and grammar skills they have learned just now from the previous activities. And then, after making a rough storyline, they will use Canva, which is the website to make presentations, PowerPoints. And then they will make a brief presentation in the unit of groups to tell their own final stories. From this part, we want to encourage them to engage in peer communicating and practice their practical language skills and imagination. Also, the presentation is helpful for their speaking skills. So this is all of activity 3, and then we'll move on to conclusion and assessment of our lesson. Thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is Jimmy. Now I will move to conclusion and evaluation part. Through the 3 activities, primary 5 and 6 students can master subjunctive mood, sentence patterns, and theme-related vocabulary, stimulate creativity and imagination, and improve cooperative practice abilities, achieving dual improvement in language application and comprehensive literacy. In conclusion, I will review the core of this lesson. 2 major sentence patterns of subjunctive tone, and the theme vocabulary of history, invention, and art to strengthen knowledge and memory. And also I will review creative activities, affirm students' imagination and expressiveness, and stimulate the interest in continuous use of English in practical situations. And in evaluation, I will let students to play Kahoot games and try writing exercise. The Kahoot games, please. I set 6 quizzes around there, and the student will use it in class, which could support students' knowledge of what they learn in this class. Let's get to the The writing exercise. Students will have a short write exercise about a new story under the background of their package post to make What If 2.0 as step C. As you can see, students can upload their new stories in this part, and we can put some comment on their stories and give some feedback to them. Okay, that's all of our video. Thank you for your watching.